This is GABNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, everybody. This is Alex Bennett, and this is the Ramble. It goes until midnight tonight here in the United States of America from New York City. The city's so nice. Yeah, they named it twice. That's before there. Twice. They named it twice. Hello there. How are you? It's another week of frivolity and useless exercise in radio frustration. Okay? Or broadcasting frustration. This isn't radio. Who am I kidding? It's not radio. It's the internet. It's podcasting. It's where any amateur can be king. Okay? Oh, why is that? See, it's got Phil Meyer there already. You know why? Because I pushed the wrong button here. Okay? All right, well, what the hell? Why not? We may as well just bring him in. And I've already got Phil Meyer, see, listed right there, see? But then that's before I brought him in here. I'm a little convoluted tonight because I got in really late, okay? Oh, there we got Tony's background.
Well, who says it's Tony's? Maybe I'm at Tony's.
Maybe you are at Tony's. Yeah, that's always a possibility, you know? That's a
person.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm actually doing pretty good. I feel good. I look good. It's been a good. I'm glad to be home too.
Well, you were only gone for what, 3 days or something?
It was 3 days too long. You get on the plane, you go, you schlep, you take cabs, you get there, you sit in rooms.
Why do you go to those conventions anyway? It's carpet. He's in the carpet business.
Right.
Okay. Now, are there hookers at the carpet convention?
Well, they give us noisemakers, and we wear a fez. So, but while I was there,
Mm-hmm.
I collect art, and
do you really? I would love to see some of the art you collect.
I actually have a real Picasso, a large one, and
a real Picasso.
Yes.
How much did it cost you?
It was a wedding gift. That one is from his blue period, and it's probably, I've gone to a couple of galleries that had that same one.
Yeah.
And it's probably worth about 10 grand.
Is that all?
Yeah.
I thought Picassos were worth a great deal more than that.
It's a lithograph.
Oh, it's a lithograph. Oh, okay. All right.
But
still lithographs, I've got a signed lithograph by Keith Haring here, and I don't know how much it's worth, but I think it's worth something. Oh, there we go. There's a Picasso.
Yeah, no, this is a Hunter Biden, and I left the price tag on it. Yeah, there he is. That's a real $500,000 Hunter Biden.
Lay off, Hunter. I mean, it's like shooting fish in a barrel, for Christ's sake.
Hey, Gabnet. What else do I got to do?
Oh, wait a minute. I'm using the green putty tonight for my arthritis. And look, see what happens? You can't see it.
Yeah, invisible putty.
See? It's there. But if I put it in front of me,
yeah.
Well, then it puts a hole in my head.
Yeah, that's invisible putty. Look like a pirate.
Yeah, but this is the green putty, so you can't see it.
Yeah, well, I am on the black putty. Let's see if I can
really? They turned me onto this for arthritis, but it doesn't really help that much. It's just fun to do.
Yeah, and it strengthens your hands.
It does?
Yeah. Have you noticed? Have you tried to open a jar or something lately?
No.
That you are a real man because you can open the jar.
I am a real man. Yes, I can open jar.
Yeah. Hey,
Well, wait a minute. Before we get going here, last week, you spend money on the wrong shit.
What did I buy?
You bought yourself a round trip first class ticket to Denver.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to buy a first class ticket to Denver.
Okay.
All right. So tell them what happened, Mister. I got the big bucks, so I'm going to take a $900 first class trip to Denver.
That's real FU money. I kid you not. Well, look. First of all, in defense of the first class ticket.
Well, no. To begin with, it isn't FU money on your part. It's FU money on the part of the airline.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Tell them what happened. Tell them what happened.
FU money. Well, anyway, what the story is first. The logic behind this is a regular ticket is about $400.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And the regular ticket is not in main cabin plus. It's just back in coach.
Yeah, but it's also you're only going to Denver. It's not like you're going to China.
I understand, but in the past I usually fly about 50,000 miles a year,
mm-hmm.
which gets me, depending on what airlines I'm going on, like Gold Medallion or one of these things that get you extra miles and
mm-hmm.
get you upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
So in past years, I would go to Europe at least once. I'd go back east twice. I'd go on a major scuba trip once, and
mm-hmm.
then one other thing for the business.
Right.
That would give me about 50,000 miles. Now, if you fly those miles, plus you get so many stops. Now, I don't mind going, taking 4 or 5 stops, especially if I'm flying first class.
Mm-hmm.
So this time I was supposed to go San Francisco to Phoenix to Denver, and reversed. So that would have given me 4 stops. So I'm playing the miles game, trying to accumulate more miles. And I get,
mm-hmm.
with my medallion status, I get 1.5 miles per flown mile.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps you reach that 50,000 mile status faster. Now, the money. Regular ticket, about 400 and change.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you upgrade to main cabin plus, or the main cabin where you get that little bit of extra room,
mm-hmm.
a little extra size seat, you're in front of the wing, so you don't have to listen to the engine noise.
Mm-hmm.
That on those flights was about.
I remind you again, you're only going to Denver. Go ahead.
Right. Well, okay. Well, anyway, those flights.
I mean, I could stand to go with the dogs in steerage or whatever for Denver. I mean, how long does it take to get to fucking Denver?
Well, it took long enough, and it took even longer to get home.
Well, that's the story you've got to tell.
So anyway, if you get the main cabin plus with the extra room, it's about $70 per leg extra. Now,
and you only have 2 legs, so that should be pretty cheap.
It was 2 legs each way of the flight. So what I did was one of the legs wasn't available. So I said, okay, for another $250, $300, I can fly first class. I get all the legs in the first class seat.
Yeah.
And nobody bothers you in first class. I pee a lot, so you got your own bathroom basically for about 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
And unless somebody from the hinterlands kind of makes it through the curtain, but so you have your own bathroom. It's cleaner because you don't have 400 people.
All right, get on with it.
All right, so for 250.
So far, you haven't justified it. Go ahead.
Now, so I get on the plane. I have a great flight over there. Nobody bothers me. I pee as much as I want.
Uh-huh.
On the back, I'm at Denver Airport. I got there early, because I knew that there'd be a lot of things with TSA, and my global flight thing had expired, and I hadn't renewed it yet, and that meant that I had to take my shoes off and go
Oh
belt,
my God, oh, that's terrible.
all of that stuff.
That's
It's a pain in
horrible.
the
That's
ass.
horrible.
Hey, you know, if they don't put me through TSA, they took away my shaving cream and they took away a little pocket knife I had. A tiny little thing was on my keychain. And that was on the way back.
Yeah, you're gonna put it to somebody's throat and say, "Nobody move, or I'm gonna kill this guy." What is
Yeah,
that?
yeah. You know, I whipped it out and I said, "Okay, you,
Yeah.
you know, let's go to Havana."
Hmm.
So anyway, I'm waiting for the plane and it's delayed. So then finally, I'm at the gate and I'm looking, and there's a bunch of mechanics and they're all standing around, looking at each other, shaking their heads, and then all the luggage starts coming off. And I said, "Hey, you know, can you get me on another flight, maybe to LA and then to San Francisco?" "No, this is the last flight. You're stuck." So I was going to be stuck in Denver overnight.
Wow.
So what I did was, then all of a sudden I looked at my phone and they said, we got you a flight on United. You got 40 minutes to get to this other terminal. So I run to the other terminal. I don't have my bags, you know, it was all carry on. So I run to the other terminal and they said, yes, here's your seat, 44D. 44D. And then they said, but wait a minute, American didn't pay for this seat yet. So we can't let you on the plane. And we have too many people deal with this. And so they said, we'll get a supervisor. Supervisor comes over, and luckily, you know, I've traveled a lot, so I don't lose it when, you know, when things are happening. I just, you know, hey, this is the way it goes. And if I have to get a hotel, I'll get a hotel. So they do what they got to do. They get me on the plane, and I'm walking further and further and further back. You know, remember, I'm the last guy on, so my luggage is hitting everybody as I'm rolling it down the aisle. Then there's another part of the plane beyond the back of the plane, and my seat was at the end of that. So I sit down. The interesting thing was,
Hope you're enjoying your $900.
oh, believe me, and I got another story for that. So I sit down, and of course, because I'm in the back of the plane, I'm the last person to be served anything.
By the way, there are only 21 people listening to us right now. This story must be riveting.
Oh yes. So well, you know, Larry's not there. Not Larry. Charlie.
Yeah.
So anyway, what ends up happening is you can't take your mask off unless you're eating or drinking something. So finally, the stewardess comes around to me and says, "What would you like?" I said, "One of everything." And, you know, give me the cranberry juice, give me the orange juice, give me the water. How many cookies you got there? So this way I didn't have to put my mask on, because I always had something. And they came around. They, you know, I wasn't drinking the water, and
Why didn't you have to put your mask on? Oh, because you were always eating something.
Right. And so, you know, the thing is, so I get back, because they didn't put me in first class on that United flight. I try to get a hold of American, and they said, "Oh, you can't call us if you have a consumer complaint. You have to go on chat and do something like that." So I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to say,
Now,
hey,
wait
look,
a minute. Did United offer to give you a certain rebate on your money because you had to fly steerage?
no, it was I can't get through to American, who I had originally flown with and put me on the United flight.
Oh, okay. So American, yeah. So it'd be,
Yeah.
and
But you know, getting to my seat, I did go past a lot of people, but there was barking dogs, and there were these big boxes that said luggage on it, you know, and then beyond that, that's where my seat was.
oh, okay.
So you know, these are the kinds of things you have to put up with when you travel.
Yeah, but I mean, you would think they would have told you, listen, we're going to refund a certain amount of your money because we did not give you first class both ways.
It's so hard to get a hold of these people. You can't talk to anyone at American. You have to email them. They're on to this.
What do you mean you can't get a hold of anybody at American?
Have a phone number for that particular thing. I called the Advantage desk, which is, whatever I got, the advantage
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And they said, no, we can't handle it. You have to go to this website and click on this, and then you can send a request, but there's no phone number. So I just haven't had time to deal with it because I wrote them and I said, I want either a free ticket or I want a positive space upgrade to first class on another flight.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to get a hold of anybody. Hey, there's one other
By the way,
thing.
we're down to 19 people now.
Good. They were all trying to book flights on American. Larry Elder?
Yeah.
Okay. I just saw, and this is Newsweek, that he leads Gavin Newsom's recall challengers by 10 points in a new poll. So that's
as long as he doesn't win for the Hall of Fame, I'm happy.
Yeah, I understand. That's why I mentioned him. There's 46 candidates that are vying for becoming the governor of California.
Yeah, but they say that the recall is not going to happen.
Well, I guess 48% don't want the recall, and 46 or 41%, I forgot what the article said, do want the recall. So unless the people that don't want the recall don't vote, because this is a special election. I think it's taking place September 14th.
I think the whole thing's stupid, don't you?
I hate Gavin Newsom.
No, you can hate Gavin Newsom all you like. The whole idea of these recalls is stupid.
Yeah,
and if they were doing this to a Republican, you'd be yelling, holy hell.
I mean, a Republican wouldn't do the kinds of things to their constituents that Gavin Newsom does. The onerous taxes and lockdowns, and he says that he's following the science. I'll tell you what the science.
Look,
is.
I happen to like Newsom a lot, but recently I've gotten disenchanted with him because I just think he's kind of lost that luster. Okay. Yeah. But nevertheless, I don't think he should be recalled. I don't think there's a reason to recall him.
Well, I got the new scientist from that's going to be running the CDC. Can you see?
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Good. Ha ha. Funny joke. Tonight I was saying to Marjorie, though, I'm a little miffed at the CDC. I think they're causing a lot of problems lately. Yeah. Because they're calling shots and then they're having to recant them. And there's so much of that going on that I think people do not trust the CDC like they should in a pandemic. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that when they keep changing the rules every other day, I think they lose those people who were on the cusp of saying, well, maybe I should get myself a vaccination or whatever. Because they don't know who to believe, and they don't believe the CDC because they're changing their tune every day.
Yeah. There's some other stuff, like the White House is not releasing certain information, like of the breakthrough COVID infections, how many of them were non-infected. So they're not coming up with the information.
How many were non-infected of who?
Well, they of the people getting the Delta variant.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't saying how many of them were vaccinated. They say there's
Yes, they are. They're saying that 95% of the people who were vaccinated do not come down with the virus, and the ones that do not get it to a sufficient degree where they have to be hospitalized.
That's correct. But what they're not saying is how many people are actually are breakthroughs, and how many of them are that are getting the Delta variant, and how many of them are had not been vaccinated.
They say the majority of the people, I think it's 99.5% of the people who are winding up being hospitalized or dying are people who weren't vaccinated.
All right. Well,
99.5%.
But these people have the ability to, to decide that they're not going to be around anymore. I mean, if they don't want to get back,
no, but they think they're going to be around. They think that this whole thing's phony. They're watching, Fox, and they're reading it online. I mean, one guy said, "I'm not getting vaccinated." Why? Well, it's this and it's that. And they said, "Where'd you find that out?" And he said, "Oh, I online."
Yeah.
Tweets.
I have one employee that was holding out and didn't want to get vaccinated. He was an anti-vaxxer. And I told him, I said, look, it's difficult for me to send you into people's homes if you don't get the vaccination. And so he went to CVS and he got vaccinated. Today he's got his second shot. And I called him up and I said, I heard that you're going to start barking like a dog or clucking like a chicken. Which one did you get, Moderna or Pfizer? So,
but is he happy now that he got it?
So far, he's okay. He's expecting the worst, and
Well, I mean, all he had to do was look at you. You've had both of them, and you're fine.
Well, I don't know if I had that issue. Remember, I was having symptoms where I thought I might have been having a stroke or a heart attack. Mm-hmm. And I went to the ER, and this was 4 days after the second shot. Mm-hmm. And they tested me, and they said, no heart attack, no stroke. And then I got an angioplasty about a week later, and they said there wasn't any change since my prior angioplasty in 2018. Mm-hmm. So what had happened was I couldn't hold anything in my hand. This is 4 days afterwards. I was dropping mm-hmm. stuff. I couldn't remember anything. Couldn't even have a conversation with people. I was like lost. So I closed this. I was alone that Monday. I closed the store 2 hours early, and I went to the ER. Mm-hmm. And maybe I had those things that they said younger people are having it's like an enlarging of the heart.
No.
Well, I don't know. Why would I have those issues?
What the younger people are getting won't kill them. It's I forget what it's called now. Myocarditis. Myocarditis, I think, something.
Yeah,
like that.
It's some sort of thing like an enlarging of the heart, and it's a temporary thing.
Yeah, it's a temporary thing.
So I'm just wondering if that's what I had. Because they said it happens to them 4 days after they get the shot.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Oh, God, they shot me right in the eye.
Yeah. Oh, okay, Pirate Bennett. Yay, matey. That's pretty cute. I don't have the green one with me. Oh, my knife is green. No, it shows up.
Yeah.
Wrong kind of green.
Wrong kind of green.
So
this is the right green color, by the way. This is the same as a green screen green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Also exercise. That's why I feel so good.
Oh, really? Good for you.
Yeah.
I haven't exercised I haven't actually taken one of my walks in about, I don't know, since last Saturday. I went out Saturday.
This is a CrossFit thing, except it's like CrossFit on steroids. And this gym, they have a waiting list to get in. And I knew the guy's wife. She was my chiropractor at one time. Mm-hmm. And the guy that owns the gym. Mm-hmm. So they probably put me to the head of the list. And I go 3 days a week, Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. But Monday and Thursday is 5:30 a.m. And I have to get up at 4:30 to be at this place. Mm-hmm. They don't even have showers. This is so butch, this place. So they have you pushing stuff around, pulling stuff. I feel like Sisyphus. So you're outside, you're in the parking lot, you got this chain around your waist, and you're pulling a sled with a bunch of weighted plates on it. And the first time I did it, I thought I was going to die. now I'm getting stronger, and I'm noticing that some of the other activities I'm doing, I'm stronger at.
Well, that's good. That's good. You know where I went to dinner tonight?
Oh, where?
The Trump Hotel.
The Trump Hotel.
You know, the Trump Plaza.
Trump Plaza.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the old, it's on the other side of the park. What was it called?
It's in Columbus Circle.
Oh.
It's in
Okay.
Columbus
What's
Circle.
the hotel he owned on the
Yeah,
other
I went
side
to a
of
restaurant that's been there for a long time. Great.
Yeah.
Good restaurant. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How was the deal?
Oh, terrific. My business manager was in town and he wanted to take us out to dinner. So
Well, I heard that at Trump restaurants they serve Kentucky Fried
this
Chicken.
isn't a Trump restaurant. It's owned by, I can't remember the name of it's like at about 2 or 3 different restaurants in this one restaurant area.
Yeah, McDonald's, Kentucky
Fried Chicken, yeah, right.
Yeah, all of the president's favorites.
No, what was the name? Wait, hold on a second. I'll tell you the name of it. I have it right here. Hold on. The name of it is Nolgatine Restaurant by Jean-Georges.
Oh, Jean-Georges.
Yeah, Jean-Georges does this as a, he has like 2 or 3 different restaurants in this.
How does he cook in all places at the same time?
I have no idea. They have one. They seem to have one. What do you call it? One kitchen,
Yeah.
and they send out the food to each of these different restaurants.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good. I had a let me see here. I had a tuna tartare, and I had a steak, and I had it was very nice.
Do you have steak tartare?
No. I only had tuna tartare.
Yeah.
I love tuna tartare. I will die for a good tuna tartare.
Wait a minute, isn't that called sashimi?
No.
It's $11 at the Samurai restaurant.
Tartare is what do you call it? Is
marinated.
Is ground up. It's ground up and raw.
Steak tartare was thinly sliced.
Steak tartare is not thinly sliced. Steak tartare is, if I remember correctly, it's ground, but it's not cooked. It's like basic hamburger, but just pure prime meat and raw.
I told you at the Trump Hotel you had McDonald's. All they did was change the box.
Could be, but it wasn't run by Trump.
Right.
So.
But it had his name on it, really?
Yeah.
And why did you?
No, he didn't have his name on the restaurant.
I know, but they had his name on the hotel. Why did you decide that, or did your business manager?
The business manager decided because he's been there before, and it's a very good restaurant. It's one of the quality restaurants in New York. It's been there for years.
Is he kosher?
Yes, he's kosher.
So, and Trump's restaurant is kosher?
It isn't a Trump restaurant. They rent the space out to run their restaurant in Trump Plaza. It's not a Trump restaurant.
Well, somehow it is, I'm glad you had a nice meal.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's nobody really waiting, just Alan and Brian Neary, who I, of course, like and enjoy. But unless you want to stick around,
I've got some stuff to do, and I got to be up really early tomorrow morning.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
okay. So Pops
Brian
has to get up early. What?
Brian got a new car. You should ask.
I know. We talked to him about it the other day.
Oh,
you don't listen to this program, huh?
Well, I know you talked to him about he sold his old car. I didn't know if you knew he got a new one.
Yeah, I know he got a new one.
He lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I know. I've seen him. He calls this show.
He had to lose weight to fit into that new car.
Probably.
All right.
Okay.
You guys have a wonderful show.
We'll try. There's hardly anybody calling it, so I don't know if it's going to be much of a show.
If you ever want some part ownership in my Hunter Biden original,
just lay off Hunter Biden. He's a retarded child. Okay.
He's a crook, and so's his dad.
No, his dad isn't a crook. Come on, get off of it.
Half the money goes to his father.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Before you go to these guys,
Yeah.
I started watching the not trial, but the House investigation
Yeah. Yeah.
on the 6th.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I listened to the cops this morning
Yeah.
recount what had happened, and this is really the first time I've heard
Yeah.
their story.
Mm-hmm.
And it made me say, I hope they prosecute the people that broke in to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I believe that people have free will, and if they did that, they did it because they wanted to do it, not because Trump told them to do it. But when I heard that
Trump didn't help.
Well, no, yeah, nobody helped. But
nobody helped. But Trump didn't help.
Yeah, when I heard the police officers' stories, it just
really, absolutely. Anyway, I will talk at you later.
All right,
Ladies
you
and
enjoy.
gentlemen, there goes there he goes. There he goes. There's Phil Meyer. There we go. Okay, hello. Okay, let's see here. Are there more people waiting to go on? I guess so. I guess we have more people waiting to go on. It doesn't look like we're going to have much of a show tonight, but we'll give it a try. If it's dull, I'll just kill it early. Oh, look who's got a popsicle. Did you bring some to share with the rest of us?
Hey, did you know I lost some weight?
Yeah.
Oh, I hear you got a new car,
Here
too.
you got a new car.
Yeah, I sold my old car, too.
Yeah.
That was the topic for him to leave. Why does he always drop the bomb when he leaves? He always says the important stuff like at 8 o'clock.
Oh, I forgot. I was trying to remember what the name of the car was, which is McLaren, right?
Yeah, McLaren.
And I should have said that to him, and then he would have known that I knew. Yeah.
Speaking of the Marjorie Green Taylor, or whatever her name is, trying to talk her and get, did you see the protesters storm them?
No.
They had a big blow up doll of Trump, and it said pedophiles for Trump. Oh my God.
Oh boy. Funny. And where was that?
That was out in front of somewhere. I don't know. They were saying that it's bad because the people who were in the Capitol building aren't getting a fair trial right now, and blah blah blah.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. You know what I didn't do here? See, I mean, I'm so out of it tonight because I did, go out to dinner and then come in here in a rushed manner. I forgot to put you guys on. There you are. There's Tony too.
So Trump was saying the other day that he had dinner at one of his restaurants in one of his hotels. I don't know the place you went to. And they had roasted peacock. I thought there was a federal law against eating peacock in this country.
No.
No? Oh,
Well,
okay.
why would there be a law against eating peacock?
I don't know.
They taste like chicken.
Your tuna today tasted like chicken too.
No, it didn't. No, it tasted like tuna. What does tuna taste like?
Like tuna.
Yeah. Not Star-Kissed, not that kind of crap.
No.
But actual tuna.
Real tuna, dark in color.
Yeah, you know what kind of tuna I had?
No, I don't. Why don't you tell us?
Al-tuna.
Altoona.
Alex Tuna. Altona's a city in
Isn't that cute?
California.
Was Phil selling dried paint during the show? Boy, what a boring show. The conversation with Phil.
Oh, and like you help it.
Oh boy.
Did his picture freeze?
I think so. Internet problems.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Yeah,
Alan?
no, I'm just, the airline thing went on and on and on and on.
Yes.
And you said there were 10 people watching.
No, I
and-
didn't say there were 10 people watching. I said there were 19, but then it went up to 30, and now it's up to 38, and it just dropped to 37, thanks to you.
Oh, okay.
Alan, my advice when you have your own show, don't have Phil on. See?
Okay, I think I'll take that advice, Brian.
This Alex's show.
And I have
What is
another.
it?
I have more advice. If you have your own show, don't have me on.
No, definitely not. I don't want a bunch of old codgers on my show.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh boy.
Who else is here?
Now who's quiet?
I should give Alan a show just to see how good it is.
Yeah, they just look like cop stories. I listen to it.
Would you really?
Well, you know why? Because I like to listen to radio, but I think you're right. Imagine if they can tell cop stories. I'd like to, I find that interesting.
Cop stories with Alan. There you go.
I think it is interesting that Phil didn't believe in the insurrection until today when he heard the 4 police officers testify.
Oh,
And now because the cops told their side, he now believes that there was an insurrection, even though he didn't say it that way.
I was just sneezing. Excuse me, folks. I turned off the microphone so you wouldn't have to hear me sneeze.
And the weird thing is I like this guy,
Who?
Phil.
Oh,
So do I, but
don't you go shooting with him or not?
Phil's a nice
Yeah.
enough guy, you know.
He is a good guy. He's smart. He sells a lot of carpet and linoleum. You know,
he's generous.
he just has a weird outlook on things. He has the Republican outlook.
Well, I don't know that he does. I mean, I don't know. I just sometimes doubt his sincerity.
Sometimes I don't know when he's joking or not. I try to figure it out. Like I can't figure him out sometimes. Like when you argue with him, Alex, I'm like, is he I'm trying to is he serious? Sometimes I think he is a little bit.
Yes,
Or
Phil, we're talking about you, but we told you to stick around.
Oh, he'll be texting me any minute now, you know, because he's listening to the show.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a sad story. Well, not a sad story, Alex. I got something you might find interesting, actually.
But wait a minute, is it a sad story or something I might find interesting?
I think it's a combination. I'll let you decide. Listen to this. My brother was on a conference call with from work today with the city. So they had like one of those conference meetings, and one of the guys is a tech guy. So he does they can do tech work from the house. Mm-hmm. Now, Alex, he was one of these non-vaxxers. He never got the vaccine. Now he's been down 10 days with the variant. He can't get out of bed. He's having hallucinations. He's down in the basement. His wife's upstairs, and he lost about 20 pounds. He may have to go to the hospital. He's calling everybody he knows to get the vaccine.
I'm sorry, it's too late.
I mean, my brother was telling me before this. He says, and he was like, they were afraid to get. Now the guy is sick as a dog. He cannot believe it's that bad. My brother was just telling me this afternoon about it. I couldn't believe it. He says, so and so. I says, yeah. How's he doing? He says, sick as a dog. I said, he's still sick. 10 days. He called my brother today. You had to hear his voice. He was hallucinating. He said he was he lost about 20 pounds. His chest, he sounds totally knocked on his ass. And I was like, holy shit. My brother told me to go to the hospital. He said, I can breathe. He says, give it 3 more days, but Alex, he doesn't sound good. The wife's trying to get him to go to the hospital. He won't go.
Oh, boy. Well, you know, I mean,
It's sad. I mean, I hope
if he go to the hospital, they might be able to give him some stuff which will bring him around.
Well, that's what my brother said. He's not eating a lot. He says, you got to get some fluids in him. That's not good. So
If he
they're
goes
trying
to
to get
the
him to go.
hospital, they'll put some IV in him. They'll give him hydrated, and then they'll probably there is medication, you know.
I mean,
There is
10
medication.
days. He says he's never felt this sick before. And he's only in his mid-40s. He says, I've never thought it could be this bad. So he might have the variant. He definitely tested positive. So the way I heard him talk, like he's just totally, like he can't even get off the couch. Pretty much. He gets
The
off. like,
variant's
he's-
supposed to be terrible.
That's what I said. The variant's supposed to be worse
Yeah.
than what yeah. I was like, holy shit. I told my brother.
What a smart disease this is, huh, Brian?
Just keep getting tested. That's all I ask.
Keep getting tested.
Yeah.
Why?
His company makes test kits.
Yeah, 'cause it makes sense.
Oh, I see.
Don't you ever watch the show?
No. I just do it. I don't pay attention to it. Nobody said I had to pay attention.
I
to
get it.
it.
It's sad, actually.
It
People-
is. Of course, it's sad. But I mean, what are you going to do?
I mean, I felt bad for the guy. Then I said, you know what? I said, but he could have got. And my brother didn't want to preach it, but this before he got it, he was trying to tell all those guys because come September they're going to want him to be back in the city somewhat. Now they work 3 weeks home and 1 week in. So he wasn't trying to preach it. He says, it's up to you guys if you want. But once you go back to the city, they're going to make him test each week, de Blasio.
Yeah.
So he's like, it's up to you guys. He says, but what's the worst case scenario? Either you get it, the vaccine, or you probably might get COVID.
Well, you can still get COVID, but what you get is a very mild version of it. I would say, would you say, Brian, that the vaccine is working?
Oh yes, yeah. In fact, a friend was just messaging me that I haven't talked to in a little bit, and he said he's getting a bunch of text messages. He put on Facebook, "Have you guys been getting text messages about incentives for getting the vaccine?" And I said, "Yeah, incentive is living."
Yeah.
And then him and I were texting back and forth. He says his mom's got the vaccine and he's still on the fence. I'm like, what are you waiting for? There's data. It's not like a small data set. This is a huge data set.
Well, the pandemic only exists as a pandemic among the non-vaccinated.
Yeah, right. That's what Biden said. There's a pandemic now amongst the non-vaccinated people.
Yeah.
And most Republicans, it's a strange way to get rid of them, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but
the unfortunate thing is they're infecting kids.
Yeah, and you still don't want it around anyways, because what happens if the variant gets stronger with these idiots not taking it, and then what happens if something else bursts through? We never know, right? So
the next variant is already hit, the Lambda or something like that, and
it's just like, these movies where, they shoot the guy and the guy falls down the ground and he's shot. But, man, you want to kill him, make sure he's dead, or he's going to grab a gun with his last breath and try to shoot you,
Yep.
Unless you shoot him in the hand.
Well, we wouldn't have the Delta variant right now if a lot more people got vaccinated.
Right.
It only took an opportunity to infect those, we would have a handful of people infected with Delta variant right now if it weren't for those people not getting their vaccine. And it's the simplest thing to do. I mean, you can roll out of bed now and get it. Remember in the beginning how hard it was to get it? Yeah. And now you can just roll out of bed, man. You got a CVS near you, you got a Rite Aid, you got a Walgreens.
They have signs right when I walk by CVS. Walk in for the vaccine shot.
Yeah, you got a
what I was going to ask you?
You got a veterinarian somewhere,
I mean, you know what I don't get, Alex? They're actually afraid, I think, of the information. It's almost like they don't trust the vaccine. Like sometimes he was hearing them the way they talk. Some of the people, it's like they feel like, something could happen. There could be a drawback to it. I mean, if that's the case, millions and millions of people.
But it could make them sterile. That's one that's running around.
But they're listening to people. They're listening to these people that are not either saying the right stuff or not educated or whatever. I don't know.
I could see maybe the kids where it's not, they couldn't take it 12 and under yet. They didn't pass that through. But if you're an adult, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
12 and under will come up soon.
Yeah.
Oh,
They've already testing
right
it.
now.
They're telling us for Adrian, the other kids don't have to, but I think they probably will say they want masks anyways. But like Adrian's elementary for sure, they're saying back to school they're masked for sure because nobody's vaccinated. But I haven't heard yet from them the junior high and high school. But I think they're gonna probably have.
It's a shame. It's a shame that they have to. And here's the reason why. I mean, kids like Adrian, at their age, they're learning social skills when they go to school. It's very important. And they learn social skills. And what they're doing is they're not able to get those social skills because they're not commingling like they should be, And it's kind of sad because we're going to have a whole generation of kids who are going to be not particularly socially adept.
Yeah, what's the biggest game at that age? Tag. Right? Yeah. So
in order to play tag, you have to touch somebody.
Exactly, but if they have the variant, you won't want them to touch
kids, we're gonna play tag. Everybody wear a mask and put your gloves on.
Or that, or like Russian roulette. One of you has the variant.
Brian,
was it you, Alex, that said that you're not trusting the CDC?
Well, I'm saying the CDC is starting to worry me in the way in which they're messaging.
Yep.
I think
agree
they're
with you.
messaging a little too much. Like today, it's don't wear a mask. Tomorrow, it's you wear a mask. Don't do this, do that. No, tomorrow, no, do this, don't do that.
Well, they have the same problem.
They're messaging.
That's under Trump.
But their
Couldn't
messaging.
make up their minds.
Their messaging is terrible because they should really go with something and stick with it for a while.
Yep.
You know.
I agree.
But I mean, like
agree.
I'm finding out. Okay, I'm vaccinated, but hey, I could spread it. What? I could spread it? I thought you told me if I got the shot, I'd be, hey, it's home free. It's everybody. It's Adult Swim. Go have fun. You know. No. All of a sudden, it's let's wear a mask back indoors again. Let's do this indoors again. Don't let's close the movie theaters again. I mean, it's just it's getting not getting good.
No, it's almost like we can't
and it's
get back
not.
to normal.
It's a conflicting message that they're putting across that is confusing people. It even confuses me a little bit.
Imagine that.
But I was saying to Marjorie that how are you going to get a public's confidence to get this vaccine if every 5 minutes they're getting a different kind of message from the CDC? Anybody disagree with me on that one?
No, I kind of agree because you know what? It's like we're on a swivel all the time. It's like, what do we do? I got the mask on. I don't get the mask on. I can't go here. After a while, it's like I don't even want to go anywhere anymore.
Yeah, but
It's
I
like,
mean,
what do you do?
it's a matter of give me some kind of guidance that is conservative, that is, that is
Consistent.
but make it consistent. Don't tell me yesterday that I don't have to wear a mask indoors if I've been vaccinated, and now you're telling me I have to wear a mask indoors if I was vaccinated. Don't tell me that if I get the shot, I'm not going to get COVID when I can get COVID, even though I'm not going to get it as bad. I can still spread it. They're now telling me to other people.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's the bad part.
but
That
the
we-
problem is not the fact that all these things are happening. They all may be true, but the CDC has got to be more consistent with their messaging. Otherwise, how are they going to convince people to get the shot?
True.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask you too, Alex. And what also has to happen is when is the FDA going to stamp this approval? And then they can. How many millions of people have to get vaccinated before they say, okay, this is good to go now?
I don't know why they're waiting. I mean,
That's what I was going to ask you.
it's been in 3 million arms already.
It's out of the country. I mean, what are we waiting for now? Give this thing the stamp already. I mean, how much data
What
do
are they going to
need?
do? Go, whoops, oh, we're wrong. We're not going to give it the stamp of approval?
No, they may be.
That's what I'm waiting for.
They may be waiting for time, not for shots, but for time wise. Because I know for avian flu, when they let us do testing ahead of time, we're still not released for testing either. But they waited 6 months.
Yeah.
We started in September 2009, and I think April is when we had to have everything done.
Right. Jeff, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I mean, this is the worst thing. They should make the decision that the drug is approved.
Yes.
Come on.
Well, every other country does it faster than we do. I don't know why we're so reticent. We put it in 300 million arms. If it's bad for you, it's a little too late to tell us.
I was just going to say, I'm waiting for them to say that to us. I'm going to roll over here. The news. Oh, the vaccine is not good. What?
Yeah, John, what?
Mama, I'm coming.
What's it matter if they approve it or not? Everybody's getting shots anyway. I mean,
Yeah, but you know what? It means a lot to those people who are hesitant.
Yeah.
That the CDC has yet to approve it.
I don't
Huh?
I don't think unvaccinated people are waiting for FDA to approve it, and then they said I've never heard anybody say I'm waiting for the FDA to approve it.
Listen, I am of the feeling like they had this with AIDS, okay, where they had to go the FDA and convince them to release it, and they said, well, we don't want to release these drugs until we're sure that they're not dangerous. And they said, we're dying.
Yeah, they were dying.
Okay, we'll take the chance. We're dying. We're going to be dead before you approve this thing.
I mean,
Yes,
how many millions
yes,
of people?
Jeff.
Thousands.
Alex,
Yeah.
you and I took the shots before anybody else
Yeah.
here because of our age.
Oh, I got it before you, I think.
No, yes, you did.
Oh,
You
yeah.
did.
Remember because of my mom,
No,
Alex?
no,
Remember you got
no,
mad at me?
no, you didn't get it before me. You got the
Did I? When did I get
second
it?
one. You got the second one before me.
Did I?
I think
Oh,
so.
yeah, maybe you did. I'm trying to forget. I forgot when.
Yeah.
It was close. Remember you were because my mom, because I was a home aide, and they let me. I'm still employed by them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alex, are we still passing the test?
I think so.
Oh,
well, I mean,
I
I don't
think
know.
we're
Now,
okay.
now we're being told that we have to have a booster, maybe.
That's
you
a
think we
new
can do it?
deal.
I'm not kidding.
You know, and I've got, I sure I understand boosters. I used to get booster shots all the time. When you go get, what's the one for shingles? You go,
Oh, you
you
got
get
that?
it, and then
My
you get a
mother never got
booster
it.
shot, and that's it, right? But no, this seems to be like 6 months later we need a booster shot.
Okay, I'll take one.
Huh?
I'll take one.
Yeah, but I mean, but still, it's 6 months later. And I waited long enough for those 2 first shots, you know?
About 2 months,
So
yeah.
I don't know. You know, I mean, I give up. But I renewed my my passport. Not my I'm talking about my flu passport.
Oh,
Yeah, it was going to expire. When was it going to expire? It was going to expire. It was going to expire 8/26/21. So that's a month from now. So I just renewed it for the hell of it. Now it goes till February. So I've got this other one here. See how I got 2 of them now? I can get rid of one of them, but I'm not going to. So.
why do they make them expire?
That I don't know, you know. But I went over to Shecky's and he said, "Well, I just redid mine." So he said, "You can redo yours. All you got to do is you know, just you go hit the plus sign on there, and then you expand it, and it extends up until February now." So, what the hell? You know, that's fine with me. Somebody's got their hand up. What is this?
Now, I raised my hand like this,
Oh, I see. And you put the
and
hand.
you
thing
bypassed me
there.
and talked to Jeff, so I thought I'd try the other.
Oh,
thing.
I forgot you were there.
Try the other hand.
That's okay.
I
It's easy to
forgot.
forget.
I forgot
So
you. Were
on
there.
the FDA approving, versus emergency use, the U.S. military has the option. The people in it, and I don't understand this, but anyhow, to not get the vaccine because it's not been approved. It's only emergency use only. But when it is approved, they can force anybody in the military, all government employees, to get the shot. So take it with whatever you want. I don't understand the difference really. I mean, obviously, the stuff works.
Well, you know what I don't like? The city of New York. Oh, the mayor did a wonderful thing today. He said anybody that works for the city has to go out and get the vaccine. Has to go out and get a vaccine.
Good.
And if they don't, what's the penalty? Well, he didn't say we're going to fire them.
No.
He just simply said you have to be tested every week.
Yeah.
Well, I got news for you about testing somebody every week. Make it every day.
I was gonna say, because they could make it. Yeah, I mean, what's the difference? They just stick it up your
I
nose.
mean,
or
okay,
something,
so you test me for COVID. Right, good. Tomorrow I get it. Then you're about 5 days until they test you again. Yes, John.
Didn't in the NFL they made a rule that says if you don't get vaccinated, you got to get tested, and if you're tested positive, your team forfeits the next game.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's pretty harsh.
Yeah. Well, if I'm a professional football player and I'm getting paid a couple $10 million a game, and they say you don't got to play because somebody on the other team's positive, I'm going to say okay, cool.
Yeah.
So they say on CNN things, they say on July 16th the FDA accepted Pfizer's application under priority review. They said it's going to take about 2 months after that point.
Jeez.
And they
what
said
date? When was this?
from July 16th, 2 months from there. They haven't fully accepted Moderna's yet.
Do you trust Pfizer when they say, well, we think we really should get a booster out there? Or do you think Pfizer just wants to make more money?
The science isn't there yet, but they're probably right.
Hey, listen, I wish I could go down tomorrow and get another booster of it.
You
I mean, I
can't.
want to get double vaccinated. I'd get another
Why
one.
can't you?
Huh? What?
Why can't you get another booster?
I don't know why I can't go down and say I never got the shot before.
Yeah, I
They
don't
may
even
have you
give
on
them your
record with
name.
the Social
I
Security.
wouldn't do that though.
What?
I wouldn't do that.
Why?
I wouldn't either.
You don't know. You don't know what could happen. You know. I mean,
That's right.
you know.
There's some talk that if you get a third booster of Moderna, not Pfizer, but Moderna, that it invalidates the first two.
How can that be?
How can it not be? It's science. Who the hell knows?
How does
I
that
don't
make
know.
sense? Does that make
How
sense?
can you override the good
Brian, Brian, does that make sense to
I'm not a
you?
doctor. I don't know.
No, but does it make sense to you?
shot? No, I don't think it could do anything.
Yeah, you get you.
That was a meme.
It doesn't matter to me. I don't have Moderna, fortunately.
What did you say, Kevin?
Said that was probably a meme.
Yeah, yeah.
That's probably fail typing that in.
Yes, John.
If you have, you know, if Pfizer and Moderna come out with a booster, it's not going to be the same one as you had before. It's going to be a tweaked one that will work for the variants.
No, but I think it's just more of the same.
I don't
from what
think so.
I've been led to believe.
I don't think so. I think it's tweaked to work for the new variant.
Well, Moderna has said that they're going to tweak it. Pfizer said they're not. So we'll see which one gets the approval.
Yeah, we tweaked our test. Our plus. comes
Meanwhile,
out.
what's happening with all the people that got Johnson and Johnson? They seem to have gotten a really lousy.
That's what I want to know because my wife got J&J.
There's a lot of talk about that. They're talking about having the people that got J&J go get one shot of Moderna or Pfizer.
Really?
Really?
This,
You know,
see,
with
I mean,
this
there's
new
so
variant
much, but
that's
this is what I'm talking about. Is we are in this vacuum of not knowing what to do, and the people who are worse at not knowing what to do is the CDC. And they seem to pass their own inabilities onto the public in general, causing a hesitancy. You know, and I every day I wake up to a different piece of, well, the CDC said this today. Oh yeah? Well, yesterday they said something else. They told me 6 months ago or 5 months ago that if I went out and got a shot, that it was going to protect me for maybe up to a year.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That'd be good for next year.
You know, so I was in line. I waited 2 hours in line. Yeah.
You got to remember, this is the first time we're going through this, so we got to remember that they're figuring it out too. So we just got to go with the flow and let them figure it out. And
that's
going to be yeses and nos.
That's
and
all
the
well
way it
and
is.
good, but then how do you prevent people from having hesitancy at getting the shot when they're seeing all this conflicting information?
Just
I
tell them
understand
about
that, but
Fox News.
you're always going to have people that are going to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just think if we want to prevent hesitancy, we come out with some definite stuff. I mean, the only thing is that the amount of people getting the vaccine has increased in the last week, and it's increased because the amount of deaths happening have increased, and people are being told now that if they don't have a shot for it, they're going to, they may get the Delta variant. Which
Well, they're
is
saying
ghastly.
that the people that are vaccinated can carry it and give it to the people that are unvaccinated.
I'm okay with that. They had their chance.
That's right. Give it. I'll start shooting it around.
Yeah, you start going.
The only people that I want to stay away from is the kids.
I'm willing to go around tongue.
Yeah,
kissing.
well, that's the problem.
I'm willing to go around tongue kissing some Republicans.
Yeah,
Trump would be first in line for you, right? No.
Did you see that press conference that the Margie the QAnon lady and what's the other guy's name? The guy from
Matt Getz. Matt Gates.
Yeah.
Gates. Yeah.
They got shouted down so fast. They got chased off out of the area.
Yeah.
And the one lady was going, "Are you a
Where was
pedophile?
this
Are
at?
you a pedophile?"
Yeah, that right there. Whoops, over here.
Yeah.
Where was it at?
There's a Trump balloon, and there's a big sign right there, and there's Marjorie right there. She's speaking, and it says pedophiles for Trump. And then people were going behind them with signs, and then by that time security couldn't keep them, and everybody started going around them, and they ran off. They actually ran off.
Scattered off.
How were
Where
they?
did this happen?
Before they ran off, how were they reacting to it?
Well, they didn't even get a word in. As soon as they started talking, everybody was shouting.
All the
them down.
pedophiles were lining up. Where did this happen at, Brian?
It's in Washington.
He froze up. Sounded like a great rally.
Yeah, really.
Somewhere in Washington.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
I
rally.
think-
It was supposed to be a press conference.
I think Jeff was trying to raise his hand a second ago.
Jeff.
Yeah, I was wondering, Alex, if you're going to set it up that you have to be on cabinet if you've been injected.
Yeah, you probably should. We're kind of close together here.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. No social distancing on Zoom.
At least I'm on top of Al, and I can kind of.
Well, I'm proposing that in order to be nominated for the Radio Hall of Fame, you have to be vaccinated, and that would eliminate Larry Elder right there.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
Who knows who
I don't
else?
think he's any competition for you, at least.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I doubt it. I doubt I'm going to win it.
I voted for you. I don't know if I made the right.
Well, I got like 7 or 8 votes, maybe 9 or 10 votes for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I got about 10 emails.
Yeah, I'll link to your email so you can vote.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I see. Well, wait, you got about 10. I don't get it. You got 10 emails from whom?
I have 10 different emails.
Oh, 10 different email addresses.
I got 10
They
different
ask you
emails.
for your address and then they let you vote.
Yeah. So I've got a bunch of junk emails and emails that that I don't use and things like that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to use them all.
So if you win, we know that Kevin was the one.
I'll tell you a story. I guess I can tell it this late in the game, but back many, many years ago when I was at Live 105 in San Francisco, every year Billboard magazine used to have a vote by people who bought Billboard magazine, a big vote for best radio station, best radio personality, best this, best that. And so this one particular year, I was talking about it on the air or something, and I said everybody should go out and buy a copy of Billboard and put in Live 105. I said I don't much care if you put me in or not, but Live 105, right? So we're about 2 weeks into this, and I get a call from somebody who says, I'm not going to tell you who I am, but I live up here in Petaluma, and I work at the post office. And the post office here just got 20,000 Billboard ballots to be distributed to the various copies of the magazine in the Bay Area. So I took them all. And I'm filling them out massively, having a bunch of people help me, and we're voting for you and the radio station.
And you won.
A couple of months later, the results come out, and Live 105 is Station of the Year.
Woohoo!
And I lost.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy lied to you then, huh? Wow.
No, he did, but they were saying, "Oh, we won." I went, "Yeah, I know," and I never really told anybody that story. But the fix was in.
All the handwriting, they had a handwriting analysis.
No,
And
it
it
was
all
a
said
matter
vote for Alex.
of just checking. I guess somebody had writer's cramp after this was over.
Yeah.
But no, the only reason I don't think I'm going to win is the ultimate vote is not the audience, believe it or not. It's the nominating committee, and while they know who I am because they obviously nominated me, they are, they're going to look at it and say, what's going to get us the most publicity for and I think Sally Jesse Raphael probably would get them the most publicity. People would go, oh, look, Sally finally made it into the Hall of Fame, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
She's older than you, isn't she?
Oh, yeah, by 5 years, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you know something, if she won, I mean, I'd like to win, it'd be nice. But if I don't win, by the way, everybody's watching this, just go to www.radiovote.com. It's www.radiovote.com, or go to gabnet.net. I have it up there. And if you get a chance, vote for me. It'd be much appreciated. But if I don't win and Sally wins, I won't feel bad, because I like Sally, and I think she certainly deserves it,
Did she do a lot of,
she did a lot of radio before.
I know it from TV only.
Before radio, before television, she did a lot of radio. Yeah, she was one of the few women working this business, doing issue-oriented
I don't remember her on
programming.
radio. I remember her on television.
Well, most people don't remember her from radio. They do remember her from television because she was on the NBC Radio Network, is where she was doing radio. But listen, I might still win, because the judges might say the same thing. Hey, she was primarily known for TV; she wasn't known for radio. But a few years ago, Wendy Williams won. But then again, she was big in radio before she ever had the TV show. Yeah. But if she wins, I won't feel bad, because I think I would be happy for her. On the other hand, if any of those other two people win, I wouldn't feel good. Especially.
And we'll be talking about it on the show for a week.
Nah. I don't know who those two guys are. I've never heard of them in my life. And also, I don't know if you read my little biography that they have.
Yes.
Well, the one I sent them was a little longer than that, and a little more inclusive. It included that I invented the podcast, for instance,
Yeah.
and a couple other things, and they edited it down to, So I know what to do if I'm ever nominated again, what to send them. Me, Alex Bennett, me famous. I don't know, something like that, very short.
Used to be a big shot.
Huh? Used to be a big shot, yeah.
But have they had people repeat the nominations year after year?
Yeah, well, you're allowed to be nominated up to 5 times.
Oh, okay.
Before
And
they
this
won't
is your
nominate
first time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, maybe next year. I don't know. We'll see. It could well be. I don't know how many of these people haven't been nominated before. Because I didn't pay attention to it before. I always used to feel bad about the fact that I never got nominated for it. I felt that I deserved it. It wasn't an egotistical thing. It's just I felt I deserved it.
I've never seen you on TV.
What?
I said I've never seen you on TV.
Yeah, so
I know it's radio. I remember you from San Francisco.
So you've never seen me on TV? This isn't for TV.
Well, this is closer to TV than radio.
Well,
No.
At least you can say this: you're on before Howard, so screw him.
What do you mean I'm on before Howard?
He wasn't nominated, right? He hasn't been nominated.
No, I think he won a few years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, has he?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, fuck him.
No, screw him. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Howard Stern. We didn't have a fuck you this week. Remember? Every week we asked somebody to say fuck you. So
there's one.
You, Howard Stern.
He
Lower
copied
than
you
dog
anyway.
shit.
He copied you anyway.
Yes, he did.
I know.
Yes, he did. But listen, nobody's going to believe that. Just like nobody believes I invented podcasting. Because my advice to the rest of the world is, don't ever be the first to do something. They only remember the second person who did something.
Yeah. The
Really,
noisier
I'm serious.
Nobody's done this either, though, right? Nobody's done this. We're strangers talking to each other for.
Well, now they're doing it because of Zoom, but
Right.
I was doing it prior to Zoom. I was doing it way back, how many years ago? 8 years ago?
On Skype.
on Skype, using Skype. Yeah, when I saw that Skype could do more than one person at a time, I said, "Oh well, this will be fun." I actually did this on radio. Believe it or not, I did this on radio. In where did I do it first? I think I did it in. God, I'm trying to think. Did I do it in Chicago? No. Did I? I think I did it in New York first. What I did is we found that if you remember those old push button telephones where you had several lines, like 4 lines, and you would push each line to talk to the person.
Business phones.
So and so's on line 2, and you go to line 2. Well, somebody discovered, and had never done anything with it, but discovered that if you went into those phones, they had like kind of a metal bracket. That if you remove the metal bracket, you know what I'm talking about, Kevin?
Yeah.
You could push down more than one button at a time. In fact, you could push 4 buttons down at a time and talk to all 4 people at the same time. And so what I did with my shows is I had 4 people at a time talking on the shows. Now, it didn't get a lot. Every time you put somebody else on, the audio got a little lower and you had to boost it up. But I used to do a show where I would talk to groups of people just like I'm doing with you guys. And this was back in the 70s, So I was doing this before I even did it on GabNet. But what I discovered is that we had Skype, and you could put on more than one person at a time. But first of all, I was looking for a way to not have to deal with the phone company, because they used to charge hellacious amounts of money to install phone lines in for broadcasts. And then I heard about this thing called Skype, and I said, well, if I use that, it'll be free, right? And I can put on a whole bunch of people. And then I found, I could bring people on one at a time. Then I noticed I could bring on 5 people at a time, 6 people at a time. And so the idea of the citizen panel was born. And we were the first to do that. But nobody will ever give me credit for that, Just like there's this thing called Podcast Journal that's online, and they're like a business journal for podcasts. And one time I complained and I said, I invented the podcast, and I explained the whole thing. I even have the program here that we use if they want to see it. Oh, no, you didn't. So-and-so did. And I looked up so-and-so, and they did it 5 years after I did it. So don't ever be the first person to do something, because you won't get credit for it. Yes, Jack.
Hey, when you said, wait a minute, let me turn that down.
Wow. So like God is
Get
speaking.
rid of the echo?
No, not at
I
all.
guess not.
That's okay, Elvis.
Well, if you want to go that way, I mean, you can do it. But let me see here. I can do the same thing, if you really want to do it.
Jesus.
God has spoken.
Yes. Anyway, let me turn that off. Are
God
you,
versus
Jack?
Elvis.
Have you got it figured out now? Or are we gonna have to hear your show tonight all in echo?
I'm gonna ask my mother, is Jesus
Here.
really holy? I'm
What?
joking.
Do you have an FX button? Just turn it off.
Yeah, I'm checking the echo. Oh, there it is, right there.
There you go.
There.
What kind of board do you have?
I've got a little Mackie, and it's a
Yeah,
new
this is a
one.
Mackie too. So no wonder I was able to fix it for you.
Yeah, put this in over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But you're absolutely right. Believe it or not, but you won't believe it. Before Tom Donahue got credit for doing AOR, we were already doing it at KMPX.
Mm-hmm.
And he walked into the station one day after hearing what we were doing, and the guy that was the sales manager asked me, who is that? And I said, that's the guy that's going to get the credit for what we're doing. Because he was the big name in top 40 radio in San Francisco at that time and had retired. And he heard what we were doing and liked it. And wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah, when they always made a big deal out of Tom Donahue in San Francisco, I went, these guys were doing this over at where was it? What was
KMPX.
KMPX for a long time.
Well, about a year.
Yeah,
almost a year.
Yeah, in fact, you have who was the guy who actually started it? Who actually got screwed by everybody? He was the guy who first overnight played progressive music.
A guy named, well, he didn't get screwed. He gets some of the credit for it. But the guy that came up with the idea and talked the station into letting him do it, moi.
No, it wasn't you.
Yes, it was.
No, there was somebody before you.
You're thinking of Larry Miller.
I'm thinking of Larry Miller, yeah.
Now, Larry, I was already at the radio station. The guy that was doing the overnights was a guy named Dave Merritt. And Merritt was doing sort of a combination blues and jazz show. And, you know, was getting no response. And, you know, I was still in college at the time. And I said, why don't you start playing some of this and some of this? And I actually gave him all of my Stones and my Dylans and the few Beatle albums I had. And
yeah, but the Beatles were popular at the time.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, though, this was right around the time the Rubber Soul album came out, which was kind of a departure from what.
But everybody was playing it.
Yeah, but nobody was playing it on FM.
Yeah, where was KMPX? Where was that out of?
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Was it Berkeley? I thought it was Berkeley.
50 Green Street in San Francisco.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
I don't remember that station.
So,
What else was
you're
on-
saying
wasn't,
Larry Miller? Then
Case
where did
over
Larry
there,
Miller
too?
come into the story?
Larry Miller had moved to San Francisco. He'd been doing a folk music show in Detroit. He had the idea of doing something in San Francisco, and he wanted to play folk music and some jazz and some blues and some, you know, some rock stuff.
In other words, what we call free form.
Yeah, basically. But they fought us, the management and ownership fought us tooth and nail.
Wasn't that Lee Crosby?
Lee Crosby, known in some circles as Country Lee.
Well, when I worked with him at KTIM in San Rafael, he was Country Lee Crosby.
Yeah.
And when he would walk in the door every morning, we'd say, "Hi, cunt."
I was trying not to go that way.
Was he the one that converted K-San to country?
No.
No.
No. Okay.
No, he bought KMPX, right?
Yes, paid $120,000.
Can you imagine buying a radio station for $120,000? Well, stick around; you may be able to soon. Anyway, but I had heard that Larry Miller had actually first, at least popularized free form.
Larry popularized it, but we were already perhaps 3 months into doing it when Larry got there in late.
Because the thing that everybody got pissed
1966.
about is that he didn't really get credit, because who got credit was Tom Donahue, who went over to K-San.
Yeah.
And started playing that music, and because he was a famous disc jockey and was going to FM, my God, what's he doing to his career? And then he does this format, everybody was paying attention, and it was like he invented the whole thing when these guys over at KMPX had already been doing it for a year.
Yeah, I was over there because I got fired at KSOL AM, and I knew Bob.
Well, you weren't black enough is the reason why.
That was right. No, sometime I'll tell you what I got fired for. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
And his son Sean Donahue ended up over at K-San too.
Well, no, this is KSAN
And so did
AM.
so did
It was
his
an R&B station.
Right.
His wife Rachel Donahue.
No, Rachel wound up at KMPX, being Tom's board op originally, and then going to KSAN FM.
Well, we don't want to hear the whole history of
But anyway, once again,
all this happened over 50 years ago, so it doesn't really matter.
It's like just yesterday to me, Sonny.
Anybody remember K-Fat?
K-Fat?
It's still here.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry, K-Pig.
Yeah, it became K-Pig.
Yeah.
That was a good station.
And KOME, when it was the cum spot on your dial?
With
105 oink 4. 104 oink 5.
Hey, I got a call letter that I'll bring up. KSJO. Does anybody remember that?
Of course. I grew up down there.
San Jose, right next to KOME.
But I will remind you of one that you don't remember. KTIM.
Yep.
But you remember it as a progressive radio station, though, don't you? You don't remember it as a station I worked for where we played nothing but Perry Como 24/7.
Yep. You could barely get it down in San Francisco.
Well, it was what we called a daytimer, and it had only 1,000 watts of radiated
you could barely
power.
get it across the bridge.
I couldn't get it on my fillings sitting in the transmitter. That's how weak it was. Yeah.
You had to be in San Rafael to hear it.
Yeah. But that's where I started. That was my first radio station.
Well, as a kid, I was not quite 14. I took the bus from San Francisco over to KTIM, and that's where you and I first met.
Mm-hmm.
You were just coming off the air, and you were kind enough to say to him, the youngster, why don't you get a real job? Be a piano player at a whorehouse.
I didn't say that.
Oh, you didn't.
No.
I used to listen to KFRC with Dr. Don Rose.
Me too.
Yep.
He came much later.
Bawana Johnny.
KLIV.
Nobody heard that one. Bawana Johnny, huh? Nobody remembers that one.
KLIV. Yeah, that was a pretty good station down the peninsula. Yeah.
See, now everybody listening to us doesn't know what the fuck we're talking
Yeah,
about.
Tony's like,
huh?
Tony, you've heard of all these radio stations.
I wanted to ask Jeff a real quick question. We'll go back to the waiting room. What do they use to do a heart biopsy? Do you know?
Biopsy?
Yeah, to take 4 pieces of heart.
Well, they
did it to my mom today.
They give you a wife, is what happens.
Yeah, that's true. They did it to my mom today, and I thought this was going to be a big process.
Yeah.
They ran it through the carotid artery.
Yes, they do things like that.
And they went down and took 4 pieces of her heart. I had to have her in the city at 6 o'clock this morning, and they had her out by 10. No anesthesia.
What? Yeah, but they didn't replace her valves.
No, they just took biopsy.
It just took a test, that's all.
They used an angioplasty, right?
They took pieces of her heart for samples, and they're going to run it for tests.
How can they do that without anesthesia?
No anesthesia.
How can they do that?
90 years old.
It probably isn't isn't a terribly invasive procedure. You know.
Through the carotid artery, all she had was a Band-Aid when I left. I went, Jesus, I wanted to keep her in overnight.
Yeah.
We ended up going over to the park and driving around San Francisco and going down in the coast having lunch.
And then she had her heart attack.
No, she's still kicking.
No, I'm
What
sure.
a tough mom.
That's what I said.
Hey, look who's there. There's Adrian. You know something?
Hi, Adrian.
She's
I was just wondering what
she's
they
been
use.
growing up before our very eyes.
Amazed me.
She gets to look a little older every day.
That's
Pretty
what kids
soon,
do.
she's going to be a real old lady.
Younger.
Huh?
And I get younger, right?
And you get younger. Yeah. Oh.
Say hi.
This
Say
is
goodbye.
one of the
Hey, Adrian, good to see you.
Remember him? That's Kevin. Remember Kevin?
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate the joining our little party. Brian, and it's a little doll you have there, isn't it? That you wind up and shoot.
I'm going with Alan and Phil gun shooting very soon.
Oh, okay. And of course, Jeff, always great to have you here. Tony, great to have you here. Mr. Larkin, as always, a pleasure. And of course, Kevin, my old pal. Thank you for being here tonight. Why doesn't everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you and say goodnight, okay? There they go. Oops, that's not what I want. I want this, okay? There we go. I almost played the opening, and knowing me, I'd just be so out of it, I'd start doing the whole show over again. Anyway, good night to our people here for having joined us tonight. That's it. Jack Bishop is next. He comes next right after we are through here. You saw him for a few minutes there. I thank him for calling too. He takes his calls on Skype at Gabnet Live. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I'll be back again tomorrow night. We'll have the sports show on at 8:30 with the franchise MC. I'm back again at 10:30. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Night, everybody.